From my end, of course, welcome everyone. Good morning and good afternoon, depending on where you are. And welcome to this first episode of the TUMIVolt charging station in 2022. I'm really glad that you joined us for another webinar of our series, where we cover a broad range of e-mobility topics. And to quickly introduce myself, my name is Øyvind Stokseth. I'll be your moderator for today. And I work as a transport policy advisor for the global GIZ project TUMIVolt. It's called Urban Mobility from Renewable Energy. And within this project, we focus on the improvement of framework conditions for sustainable electric mobility in the global south. And we are running this TUMIVolt webinar series under the project. And also another note, this project is funded by the German Federal Ministry for Economic Cooperation and Development. So I mentioned, even though our focus of work, of course, is in developing countries and also emerging economies, it sometimes makes sense to look at the global north countries to draw some learnings from their experience, and that's what we're going to do today, because we are going to have a look on the topic of shared e-mobility solutions from Halden Municipality in Norway. As you might know, Norway is actually a world leader when it comes to e-mobility adoption, and that is also why I'm really excited to learn more about the case of the smart city of Halden, because Halden Municipality has actually received several awards and nominations within the fields of innovation, digitalization, and also smart city over the last years. So I'm really excited, as I said, and I would say we can have a look at the agenda for today's webinar. First, we will have a short introduction into the topic and clear some technical questions. And then, of course, we will have an input from our guest speaker, Øyvind Stokseth. He has, of course, the chance to give us around 20 to 30 minutes input about his experiences with shared e-mobility solutions from Halden. And after that, we will have the possibility to dive into a live Q&A session, which my colleague Rohan Modi will moderate, also a GIZ colleague. And that's the plan for today. And for the introduction of our speaker, I'm really happy to introduce you to Øyvind Stokseth. He is the head of the smart city of Halden Municipality in Norway, and he graduated as civil engineer from the Norwegian University of Science and Technology. And Øyvind has actually extensive experience in digitalization and also innovation and smart city work. So that's why I really am excited to welcome you to this webinar, Øyvind, and it's really a pleasure to have you today.
Thank you.
And you're welcome. But before I hand over to you, maybe I just highlight two more technical information for our participants. So the first one, of course, is to ensure transparency in terms of data protection. So we will record today's webinar and upload it to the TUMI YouTube channel afterwards. So there you will also be able to find all previous episodes of the TUMIVolt charging station if you're interested. And the second thing I want to mention is that, of course, as always, feel free to use the chat function here to raise your questions during the presentation of Øyvind, and because for the Q&A part, which Rohan will moderate, we will have the possibility to redirect all your questions, your burning questions, to Øyvind so that he can answer them one by one. So that's the plan, and I would say that's it from my side. And with that, I'm kindly handing over to you, Øyvind, to share your presentation, and I stop sharing mine so you can take it.
Then you hopefully see my presentation. Yes.
Yes, we can.
Yes, thank you. As you said, my name is Øyvind Stokseth, and I'm the head of smart city within Halden Municipality. Halden Municipality has just over 2,200 employees who works every day to make Halden a little better in a slightly smarter way than yesterday. Halden Municipality provides services to over 31,000 inhabitants. We run everything from kindergartens and schools to elderly care. We are responsible to give the citizens all from water and road to cultural experiences. Halden is a border municipality to Sweden, and the distance to the Norwegian capital Oslo is approximately 120 kilometers. Halden has one of Norway's most visited tourist attractions in Fredrikstad Fortress. We have many cultural events and fantastic outdoor opportunities. Halden Municipality has, as you said, received several awards and nominations within innovation, digitalization, and smart city in recent years. The main reason why the municipality has succeeded with some solutions is that we in Halden have many successful companies we work with. The international company Analysis Mason had in 2019 carried out an analysis of 60 municipalities in the Nordic region. The survey was named the Nordic Digital Municipality Index 2019. Halden Municipality was ranked number 3 among all the municipalities that was analyzed, and the Halden Municipality was ranked as number 1 among the medium-sized municipalities. The municipality's commitment to innovation the last years has been very important to this success. In 2013, the municipality's finances were very poor. In fact, Halden Municipality had Norway's largest accumulated deficit. We had generally too expensive services in relation to their income base. It became necessary for the municipality to change how we performed many services. As a result, it was written a vision in 2015 that the municipality had to become Norway's most innovative municipality. This vision has later made it easier to start new innovative projects. 2 years ago, we analyzed how employees within Halden Municipality traveled back and forth to meetings during the day. We discovered that 30% of the trips were less than 4 kilometers in total distance. Nearly all driving from the employees were done by fossil cars. We also discovered Halden Municipality yearly paid employees approximately 130,000 euros in allowances for using their own car during working hours. Besides, we knew many people in Halden with low income didn't own a car. Considering these facts, we saw opportunities to create a solution where people and employees in Halden Municipality share cars. We wanted to lower the mileage allowances and at the same time give people without a car an opportunity to rent a car easily and inexpensively for a certain period. A project was born. Halden Municipality made a public tender requesting a solution for Halden's employees to rent electric cars during working hours, and the same cars should be available for people to rent outside working hours. The 24th of January 2019, the mobility solution was launched with a lot of prominent people and different media. Also, NRK, the main Norwegian broadcaster, was present. The mobility solution consists of electrical cars and electrical bikes. The cars are reserved Halden employees working days from 8 in the morning to 4 in the afternoon. Outside these hours and on weekends, the cars are available to the public. The car fleet consists of various electric cars, mainly e-Golf and Nissan Leaf, but also 7-seats, vans, and a few Jaguar A-Paces for longer driving distances. You first book a suitable car in the app. You must decide from where you want to pick up the car, for how long time you will book the car, and you must give an estimate of how long distance you will drive. 3 minutes before your booking starts, you receive a SMS you use to open the car. The car keys are located inside the vehicle, and then it's just a go. Hence, the car are available in an easy and efficient manner, regardless if you are an employee in Halden Municipality or if you are a visitor or a citizen. When we started the project, the cars were in different locations in the center of the city. Here you see some of the cars. This picture shows the app where you book the car. We think the mobility project has many good effects, and we like to nickname it the Kinderegg-effect, where you get 3 good things out of 1 project. First of all, better climate. We reduce pollution by 30 tons CO2 each year by using electric cars instead of fossil cars. Besides, the car sharing solution reduces the needs for people to own their own car, or at least the needs for several cars in the household. Secondly, better economy. It is less expensive to lease a car with this solution than renting a car the normal way. The municipality may also reduce cost by using this solution instead of paying driving allowances for employees. However, the calculation depends on how much we reduce driving allowances. Anyway, we save time. Employees may use 10 to 15 minutes to fill out a travel expenses sheet. It is also time-consuming to approve these sheets. With 16,000 travel expenses each year, we seriously reduce the travel sheet handling as well. And finally, we see an effect on reducing the inequality between people. In Halden Municipality, as in the rest of the country, some people are financially excluded from various social arenas. There are some parents who don't have the money to own their own car and therefore are unable to take their children to recreation activities. If you can rent a car for a reasonable price, then perhaps you'll be able to take your son or daughter to match in the neighboring town once a month. The price of renting a car with this system is about €8 per hour, which is very reasonable in Norway. We are all aware of the Sustainable Development Goals. Some of the goals are relevant for our mobility solution, as you see here. To create awareness, the cars are branded with these goals. Let me show you a short video. Yes, in the beginning, the cars were only available in the downtown area of Halden because here most of the employees in the municipality work. But people mostly live outside the city center, and we wanted to have smart city cars located close to the places where most of the citizens live. At the same time, the cars had to be placed close to the employees' workplace so that it was attractive for the employees to use the solution. We had to identify locations suitable for both employees and the general public. The last year, we have been establishing charging hubs at some schools and institutions in the more densely populated areas. We use statistics or bookings to decide how many cars are placed at different locations because we have more charging hubs than cars. We have also started a cooperation with a college in Halden, Østfold University College. They have some electric cars reserved for their employees in working hour, but the citizens can book those cars seamless in the same solution as the cars used by the municipality. In addition, we have set up directional signs at all locations so that it's easier for tourists to find the cars. We have also used the cars for special properties, food delivery for isolated persons with COVID-19, and use of cars in property evaluation are some examples. In addition, we have increased the number of cars from 20 to 29. Some cars are available for both citizens and employees the whole day and night. Besides, we have started a volunteer program together, taking a lonely person on a trip. The car is on us. We started this program with success on some Sundays. We have used statistics to show how often the cars are used to decide the number of cars we need and where the cars should be placed. Both employees and people use the cars a lot, but private users have less bookings and drive longer distances when renting. This makes sense since private users pay per hour. This graph displays the day with the most bookings for private users. Typically, it is on weekends. But what kind of challenges can you expect if you implement a sharing solution like this? First, it could be challenges to get the employees to use the cars. Second, it can be a challenge to get the residents to use the cars, but also challenges to ensure that you have the right number of cars, not too many and not too few. And maybe challenges to ensure the cars are available for booking, that they have enough power. It also could be challenging to find the right locations the cars should be placed. And besides, to ensure good enough information for employees and residents. It is important to have a good organization around the scheme. Who does what? So summary, why use a car sharing solution between the municipality and residents? Maybe a checklist like this is relevant. Do the employees need the cars only during normal working hours? Are the locations you want to place the cars close to the municipality works and at the same time in an area attractive for residents to book a car? Do the municipality has a large cost for driving allowances? Do the municipality have areas that can be used? That is question I think should be analyzed. This winter, Halden Municipality will start a new exciting sharing project. We want to test a shared ecosystem of electric vehicle chargers. We want to share chargers internally and externally between municipalities, employees, and citizens. Today, we see that many of the chargers reserved to the municipality are not in use most of the day. The chargers should be available to citizens when they're not in use. We then must manage municipality charging points by setting own rules and prices. We also want to see if there are sharing benefits between various organizations in Halden. This is a high-level picture. The company Charge BNB is responsible for the solution. The overall scope of the project is to validate the sharing of chargers. We want to manage, share, and create value of private chargers in the municipality. Some sub-goals are quantify the value of sharing existing infrastructure of chargers in Halden, develop and enable a charger sharing model with the requirements of municipality and citizens, conduct a stable study, and design ecosystem model for shared private chargers. I will now finally show you a new video to better explain our car sharing solution. Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much, Øyvind. That was very interesting. And yeah, thanks for sharing your insights on the way you do things in regards to e-mobility in Halden. I would, of course, have a couple of questions, but I'm sure our participants do so as well. So maybe I hand over to Rohan to moderate the Q&A session. And of course, again, to all our participants, now is a good moment to bring your questions forward to Øyvind so we can dive a little bit deeper into how the project evolved and what are the benefits and the experiences. So that's your possibility. And with that, Rohan, I'm happy to hand over to you. Thank you again, Øyvind.
Yep.
Thank you, Marvin, and thank you, Evan. Really insightful presentation and the solutions which Halden Municipality is having here. And I myself have some questions, but maybe I'll start with the questions into the chat. So the first question which we have here is, I see from Marvin. Marvin, the question is, how much did the project implementation cost to the municipality? Is it profitable, paying for itself, or is it being subsidized by Halden Municipality?
As I mentioned, it was three main reasons why we implemented this solution. And two of them are like the climate, reduce the CO2 pollution. And the other is that people with no cars should have available cars when they need it. But when we're talking about the cost for the solution, it depends how much you are able to reduce the driving allowances in your municipality. And as I said, you reduce the time you use to check or travel sheets, and therefore you seriously reduce time. But for Halden Municipality, I think it's more or less break even when we're talking about the cost. I think the main goal is that this is good for the climate and it's good social profits. And when you're talking about the cost, it's the break even. To be very precisely, it depends how much we use the cars, because the cars we are using in smart city, this smart city solution, are we leasing, and we don't pay anymore if we use the cars a lot. Opposite way that they stand still. So it means that we have to use them a lot if it will be very good for the economy. And the break-even limit is we have to drive every car approximately 50 kilometers a day. So it's not a good solution that you use the car, drive to a meeting for 5 kilometers, and the car stands there the whole day and then drive back again. Then you should use another solution for that kind of meetings or travels.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Thank you, Øyvind. I hope, Marvin, this answers your question. And moving on to maybe the second question from Sahana. So Sahana asks, what type of chargers and are the chargers AC or DC? And what are the power capacities and the connector type which were installed for these charging station hubs which you presented?
The project I presented is a pilot project. It is just started, and the main purpose for the project is to share chargers, all kind of chargers, in an open solution. That when the chargers are not in use, it is possible to make the chargers available for other citizens in Halden Municipality. And all kind of chargers is meant to be implemented, but in the pilot, we will start just with 5 chargers, and also just 10 test persons. But this pilot project, will just last for 3 months, and then we will hopefully start with a more full-scale project.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Øyvind. Moving forward, I have a question of myself as well. So you said, Øyvind, the charge to hire the car is €8 per hour. I
Yes.
was wondering, what is the charge of public transport ticket for a day? And
yes, that's a good question. I think if I take the bus to or train back and forth to Oslo, which is then approximately 240 kilometers, I have to pay approximately, I guess, 70 euros, 80 euros. And you need the car for 3 hours, so then it's 24 euros if you take the car. So for compared to train and other options, it's quite a good solution. But it's not a good solution if you want the car for a long time. And we want not to compete with the hiring firms like Avis and the different. So it's a good solution for a short period if you need a car for some hours, but not for days. Then it's other solutions for sure is much better.
mm-hmm. All right, thank you very much. moving forward, there we have another question from Chandan Dikshit. So Chandan asks here that did the municipality make use of renewable energy, clean energy as input to charging stations? If yes, how on what models was renewable energy used to charge EVs?
It's just electrical vehicles. So if I answer their question right, so it's all the cars in the float are electrical vehicles and different sizes. And if I look at the next questions there as well, so we have some minibuses, some vans, and small cars and bigger cars. So different car float. And actually, just now we are implemented a new solution in the same way, and then it's even more differences of cars implemented.
Mm-hmm.
And in the same solution as you book the car, you also can book, for instance, bicycle, etc.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Øyvind. I see a hand raise. Winfried, yes, please go ahead.
Yes, thank you so much. I was wondering, I believe you have to return the car to the same position where you picked it up. So you have fixed station and you have to move it from A to A. Is this correct?
That is correct. And that is correct in that solution we had until now. But now we are trying to fix it in when we talk about 2022, 2023. We are in dialogue with the firm deliver us the solution that you can book a car from A to B and not leave it at A again. And of course, it's not a technical problem that it's there, and how you use it. That it's possible to book the car for. We don't want to pick up cars everywhere. They have to get back in themselves. So it's not a technical problem. This is there, but we have some thoughts using, for instance, AI. And in some cases, it's possible to that if you go from A to B and you are standing at B for a longer time, that some other can use the car when you are there at B, and you go back to the same car or another car from B to A again.
So we have a lot of experience in the Leipzig area with this free flow, and it's working quite nicely. My question is, I have two other questions, would be about the charging.
Yep.
So how do you assure that the cars are being filled so that when I'm coming and booking the car that they are charged?
Yeah, that has been a little problem because no one want to book a car with no electricity. So actually, the booking firm we use, having a responsible for a solution, they can always see how much electricity there are in the car. There are in the cars. So we have changed it that if there is less electricity in the car than was planned, it could be because the person before you have arrived later, or maybe had not put on a charger into the car, etc. Then the leasing company, TUMIVolt, responsible for solution, they switch car to the next person, or you get a message that this car has less power than we want, and you can cancel the booking. And that message should come 1 hour before your booking.
But so after your trip, you're always forced kind of by contracts that you have to recharge the car.
Yes.
So at the very end, everyone has to plug it in.
Yeah. So it's very easy. When you come to the car, the first thing you do is that you use the phone and you have a PIN code, and then you open the car. And the next thing you do is to take out the charger from and put it into the car. And in the same way, when you leave the car, you have to put in the charger to charge the car, and then just leave the key in the vehicle and just go. But it could be, of course, problem if someone not doing in the right procedure. It's very seldom, but it has happened. And then it's very important that the next one gets it message. This is not working, so you get a new car.
Okay. And who's running the entire system? Is this you as a municipality or is it a private company?
The private company. So
Okay.
we have decided the system. They are doing the system.
Okay. Thank you so much. Our one last question is, what is the average ride of an e-vehicle in your case? How is the normal daily usage? You said 50 kilometers is break even. So are those cars driving roughly on average 50 kilometers or is it less?
In a day, it's the normal driving or less, but when we're talking about how much the cars are in driving for each day in all day, even if different drivers, it's 40K. So it's a little too less. And therefore we have to do something with this. We have just written a new procedure how the employees should use the cars. And also the thing is that the drivers from the employees, they use the cars much more than the citizens when we talk about trips, but they drive the cars for much shorter distances. So the total distance from citizens and employees are more or less the same, but it's much more bookings from the employees.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Dam. Yes, so moving forward, here we have another question from Torben. He writes, then A to B means that there must be charging station at B as well. So it is not a free floating like City Flitzer in Leipzig.
It's maybe less a question, but more commentary that we are speculating that it was a free-floating system that you're proposing for 2022-23. But if you need a charging station at the B location, so not A to A, but A to B, there still must be some kind of charging device if you have to plug in the car in the end of the use. It's not a complete free-floating system then, right?
Yes and no. I think for many of the trips are quite short. They are within Halden Municipality. And for those trips, it's very important to use the cars if you are in a meeting. But the technical problem is that even if you don't need to charge the car when it's placed in another place, not B, in the system, it has to be possible for people to find the location. But there are some thoughts, and we think we are going to make it possible to rent a car from B, even if it's no charges there at some places. The most attractive or the most visited places, like schools and institutions, etc., even if it's no charges there, because there are a lot of people need the cars there.
Thank you, Evan. Thank you, Torben. I see a hand raise. Indradeep.
Thank you, Rohan. Actually, I have two questions. One is that related to the batteries for the recycling point of view. After certain years, when you have to discard your battery, what is the scheme that you already adopted for the recycling of the vehicular batteries? And the second question is of the charging. You said, of course, it's electric car, which requires electricity. The question is, what kind of electricity? Are you ensuring that the electricity should be green, using hydro or wind or solar or something like that?
I didn't catch up with the first question, but I'll take the last questions. And repeat the first question. We live in Norway, so here we are quite lucky that most of the electricity are green electricity, because all over the electricity in Norway are from more or less from water and green electricity, but we have nothing to ensure that the electricity is green. But we are lucky here that it's Norway is, but there are no system to around it. But I didn't catch the first question, so if you can please repeat it or say it again.
Yeah, sure. The first question is about the battery recycling of the batteries after certain years. What is the scheme that you have?
We don't have any special issues around it. We lease the car for a period of 2 or 3 years, and we don't have any special things around it. I understand that is also important because it's for a green cycle. It's the battery recycling is very, very important. But in this solution, it's nothing handling around that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Indradit. Thank you, Evan. Moving forward, I have a question around the charging solution. So there are two aspects to it. One is assets as in EVs and the charging stations, and other is the software, which the participants or employees and citizens will be using. So you said there was a tender which you floated for this solution. So are both the solutions, the assets and the software, being provided by one company, or are there two different tenders for this project?
It is one taking care of everything. But that provider are leasing the cars, so we are just in contact with one company, but that company are leasing the cars because they don't own their own cars, but they are leasing them. But for us, they're just one provider to be in touch with.
Interesting. Thank you.
I can say something finally, that we were the first one in Norway having this solution where citizens and police sharing cars, and I think I have been talking to approximately more than 50 municipalities in Norway about this solution. So there are a lot of municipalities in Norway trying to do a way of this solution, but for sure that works for Halden, which is a municipality for 30,000 inhabitants, will not be the best one for a small city with 5,000, and not for Oslo with 600,000. So it depends on the complexity and the infrastructure of the city for sure. But the idea that the cars need to be shared, not even both within the municipality, but also for employees if they're not used out of working hours. And that I think is a good idea. But how to implement it, there are a lot of differences depending on where you are.
Thank you. And I think the interest is not just from Norwegian municipalities, because our next question is, I believe, from our colleague in India. Sahana asks, is it possible to access this tender document which you floated? Is it available in public domain? Because it would be helpful for their project partners, potentially the other cities in India. So could you maybe share the link, or is it available at the moment in public domain? If yes, we would be happy to maybe receive this link and we could forward it to Sahana.
Yes, I think we had just a public tender for the new solution, and we have just decided a new provider. Actually, it will be the same, but and that is available now at internet. I'm not sure if the public tender we used for the solution I presented for you is available, but I can for sure send it. But I think it is just in Norwegian, but I can for sure send it.
Great. Thank you, Evan. And Yes, we have another question here again from Marvin. Marvin asks, as you mentioned, sharing vehicles is key. Are there any plans to implement e-bicycle sharing schemes as well? This would offer even greater benefits in terms of lower cost and higher GHG reduction potential.
Yes, there are thoughts about that as well. Yes, there are. So we are for e-bikes, we are sharing between citizens and the municipality. But e-scooters are, I think you are thinking of, but we have not done anything about it. But e-bikes we are sharing with the municipality, employees, and the citizens in the same solution.
Thank you, Øyvind. My next question would be maybe on the charging station solution which you presented, and you mentioned that Charge.B&B is a company which is implementing this solution. So
yes,
the question is this solution being implemented on already existing charging stations within Halden? Or there are new charging stations being installed which would be further moving forward through Charge.B&B offered for sharing?
the system is implemented in chargers that are there already. So we will of course build new chargers as well, and then it's quite useful to implement the Charge.B&B solution. But in the pilot, it's chargers that are already installed and in use.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Thank you, Øyvind. Here we have another question from Sushovan. Sushovan asks, is there any information on Norwegian cities promoting reuse of electric vehicles batteries? Has battery swapping also gained any momentum in Norway?
I'm not sure if I'm available to give a good answer for that. It's for sure something we talk about in Norway as well, but as a municipality, and I work in the municipality, so I think it's more a national strategy, working with what to do with recycling batteries. And there are for sure a lot of written documents about it, but in Halden Municipality, we just follow the national strategies in that kind of cases.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Øyvind. And the next question is from Chandan. Chandan asks, can you let us know how far concept of managed charging or V2X is being used in Norway or maybe in Halden Municipality? I remember you mentioned that the car which you have in your charging systems or charging solution sharing solutions is also Nissan Leaf, and
yep.
I think there we all know Nissan Leaf is having a V2X functionality already there. So are you also implementing, as in Halden Municipality, the V2X or vehicle to grid through these shared cars as well?
Not yet, but hopefully in quite soon. There are some ideas around it, but not yet. We are not doing it. But for sure, okay. We are in cooperating with companies here in Halden, working a lot with that kind of issues. So I think, I hope it will be in not far away.
Mm-hmm. And maybe in case, do you have any idea if other cities are implementing V2X solutions already, or?
No, I don't think. I'm not sure, but I not think it's something the municipality is do in a big way at least. So maybe there could be some tests, but I don't think the tests are done by the municipalities. But of course, it's a lot of testing in Norway, but not done by the municipalities. That's my guess, but I'm not say it for 100% sure.
Thank you, Øyvind. All right, I see there are no more questions in the chat now. And as we are also closing to the end of the session, maybe I can still give an opportunity for one last question to the participants. We already have one. So again, Sahana asks, what are the modes of payment allowed at the shared charging hubs? Is there a unified payment mechanism in place?
We are now going into a pilot, and that is something we have to test. What kind of strategy we should use, because that's not decided. So we'll test out the different ways of doing it in the pilot. So what we will end up with is not sure. But we, of course, the main thing is that the private persons or the companies sharing their chargers, they have to profit a little bit out of it. But in the same time, the price should be so reasonable that some other users are using the chargers. So we have to define the break even for how to do this.
Thank you. Maybe just a follow-up question on the same question. And what are the payment methods which are available in the shared car system which Halden Municipality has? So is it a card-based system, or how is it? Is it a wallet system within the app which you have, or how is it then?
If you're talking about the chargers, how we can pay the chargers, yes, it's a lot of different systems, and it's quite hard to find out. But when you go from in Norway traveling around with electric vehicle, it's I just was reading a technical paper that it was about 3 out of 4 had problems, so it could be better for sure. But the chargers we are talking about in the pilot are not that kind of chargers. This is private chargers, now not available for the public, but in this solution they could be available for public, and then you pay through an app, so make it much more easy. So we use the app to pay. And the app tells you if a charger is available. That's the system of ChargeBnB.
Okay, and maybe just my question was also on cars. So the cars which you have to share between your staff, what kind of payment mechanism is there for these cars? Is it also an app-based, or is it card-based, credit card, debit card-based system?
It is a credit card.
Okay.
When you, as a private user, you put in your credit card number in the app, and then you use the app to pay. But it's first when you register a user, a private user in the app, you register also your credit card, and then you pay through the app with your credit card.
Thank you, Øyvind. Thank you once again to all the participants for your questions. Certainly, it was very helpful to get a sneak peek of the solutions which you have, Øyvind, in Halden. And personally, I had benefited too much from your answers as well as this Q&A sessions. But without taking more time, over to you, Marvin.
Thank you very much, Rohan. But I just saw that there's a last question maybe popped in the chat, and maybe we can also take this forward. So, Øyvind, the question is there a discussion in Norway because of the rise in energy/electricity prices? Are there any doubts on using electric vehicles?
Yes, the electricity prices in southern Norway and eastern Norway has been 10 times the cost than last year, and is extremely much discussion around it, and people have big problems to pay their bills, and some are tells they are freezing. So in a newspaper every day, this is something they're talking about, because it's a big differences from the last year. And of course, that also means that it's much more expensive to have an electrical vehicle. But now actually the government has decided that they will pay 80% of the bill when the kilowatt hour is more than approximately 1.10 cent. Yes, 10 cent, I think it means 70 øre, little less than 1 krone in Norway. But when it is get higher than this, the government will now start to pay the bills for every private users. So you'll get it back from the government, because it's extremely much discussion about it. I think it's the most discussed thing in the Norwegian newspaper the last 2 months.
Yeah, interesting. And can you quickly, just a follow-up question, explain why the prices increased by 10 times? What's the reason behind it?
There are different reasons for it. One reason is that it's been less water in Norway in the mountains. Another reason is that they have built a big cable from Norway to Southern Europe, and the prices in Southern Europe are higher, much higher than here in Norway. They were, and the market makes the prices higher here in Norway as well. So I think that is that one of two of the bigger reasons. And another problem is that we have enough power, electricity in northern Norway, because then the prices are just 10% over the southern Norway. But we don't have the infrastructure to send the electricity from northern Norway to the south, and it could have gone through Sweden, but they just now it don't work to go through Sweden either. So yes, it's a lot in newspaper about this kind of problems.
Mm-hmm. Very interesting topic. We can unfortunately not go into further detail, I have to say, at this point, but I understand that distributing energy is key questions in almost every context. In Norway, we have learned now, in Germany, we have similar discussions around how to get the electricity from the wind locations in the north to the south, where the industry mainly is. So very excited, a very exciting topic, but let's maybe leave it at that. And I would say thank you very much for your time, Øyvind, to join us today. And of course, thanks very much to all participants for your active participation in the discussion. And I hope you learned as much as we did. And with that, I would say, of course, check out our TUMI website, our TUMI YouTube channel, where we will also upload this episode for your reference. And I wish you all a very good Friday, and of course a beautiful weekend. And with that, I thank you for your participation. Say bye-bye and see you soon. Thanks.
Thank you.